Today I'm going to show you how to save money in 5 ways. People are spending $5,102 a month on average in the United States on just living. I mean, don't you know you could live for free? It's crazy to me. I mean, you can save thousands a month or over $10,000 a year. If this video helps, I want you to like and subscribe. Thanks. All right, so the first tip is the most important one. Spend less on your housing costs. Spend less on shelter. Now, how do you do this? One of the biggest ways, one of the easiest ways is if you actually spend no money on your rent. How's that even possible? One of the easiest ways for people to achieve this is live with your mom, live with your parents, live with whoever your guardian is who has a vested interest, a mutual interest in you being alive. Maybe you're going to take care of them when they get old. So, use this to your advantage to, at least in the short term, live for free until you can save up enough money so you can be free somewhere else. But this is actually, if you maintain a good relationship with your parents, this is easily the best way to save a lot of money. People are spending so much money, even if you're in your 20s or your 30s, even in this time, just living closer together with multi-generational families, it's actually one of the best ways to save money. And as long as you have a good relationship with them. And I would say you want to still be ambitious, even if you're, taking care of your parents or something like that. You might want to rent out your place. You could house hack and you can do that. Another way is if you live with your friends, and this could easily cut down the costs. I remember when I was single, I only paid $800 a month for rent. Now I pay $4,000. So when I was living with 4 of my friends from college, we split up a 4 or 5 bedroom place, and it was pretty awesome. Like saving so much of my paycheck every couple weeks. I didn't have to write off so much of my money just to live. It doesn't have to be that way. So living with roommates, I know it's, maybe not the most ideal in a lot of situations, but it's one of the easiest ways to save a lot of money. Another idea is to move somewhere cheaper. I've lived in New York, Boston, California. These areas are not the cheapest. So, if you have lucrative job offers that require you to be in that state, then go for it. Otherwise, maybe even look into like remote work. Some people are even hired by companies in California earning California salaries, but they live somewhere else. So that's like an ultimate way to save a lot of money. But for you, think about where you're going to live. Housing costs are very high for your industry. You might be able to do the same job, in another state, but it might be hard to leave your friends and such things. So, definitely consider this as one way to really reduce costs. Another way is to live in a condo or an apartment or some smaller square footage area. This is a lot easier if, you're renting out somewhere that's too big for you. Maybe you're just 1 or 2 people, or you have 1 kid and you're renting out a huge place. And, that's not always the best for your wallet. And so you definitely can have expenses cut from there. But make sure to keep your ambition high. This is, a lot of times when people save money on housing, they might not try to go for the promotion. That tends to happen. So make sure you're still ambitious as you lower costs. Saving $10,000 a year is $10,000 a year, is totally possible, but, make sure your ambition doesn't go away. All right, so the next tip for how to save money in 5 ways, tip number 2 is I want you to consider, do you need a car? Now, a lot of people spend money on brand new cars and, you don't need a new car. Maybe you could buy a used one. Maybe there is someone in your family. My first car was given to me by my brother, and, you may not have that luxury, or maybe you do. Maybe you have friends or family who are trying to get rid of cars. That's one way, but you don't need to be buying the latest car. of some luxury brands. I mean, if you're not driving a Lambo, does it really matter how fancy of a car you're driving? Like, it's not the fanciest. Do you need to be better than your friends? I mean, this is really what makes people poor, is because they keep comparing themselves to others. And, I'm driving a Mazda CX-5, so that's like, it's totally not something enviable. People aren't jealous of what I'm driving, but it's a big way to save money. People look at this chart. It's number 2 way that people are spending a lot of their money, their hard-earned cash, post-tax. You're spending money on transportation. A lot of people are using this just to go to work. I mean, you're spending your income just to work more. And so really consider remote work possibly, or see if your job can like pay something for your transportation. Use public transportation. See if you can bike to work, see if you can walk to work, or you can work some other type of job that is much better for you in terms of transportation, but you're just trying to get from point A to point B. You could use Uber, Lyft, a number of alternatives. Really consider your options here, because this should not be something you spend your money on. And when it comes to insurance, think about pay per mile insurance. Right now, a lot of people are at home. Think about cutting down on your car insurance by switching to a pay per mile. How to save money in 5 ways. Tip number 3. This is to spend less money on food. And as you see, people are spending so much money on food. It's just food. You definitely want nutrition. You definitely want healthy food. You want your favorite foods. You want to be excited about what you're going to eat. Now, do you have to eat out? Do you have to eat fast food? Do you have to go to fancy restaurants? I don't think so. My favorite food is a burger, and I actually learned how to make a burger. It's not that hard. And, let's just say, I'm a lousy cook. I mean, you just put the ingredients that you want. I get to put pepper jack cheese in there, egg, whatever I want. I put on extra avocado. You go to the restaurant, they're going to charge you extra just for half an avocado. And, you could be doing this at home with a lot less money, with a lot more flavor. And so even if you're a bad cook, you'll have a lot more flavor. It'll be done well. It'll be done by you, and you won't be putting in any nasty ingredients that you don't know where it came from. So you could totally be saving money just by buying food, buying groceries, making some food yourself. And it doesn't have to be everything. You can still eat out. If you're eating out 3 times a day right now, cut it down to once a day. If you're eating 3 times a week out at restaurants, cut it down to 1 or 2 times, slowly scale back, but this will be saving you a lot of money in the long run. And that's what it's all about, Combining this with the transportation tip, you want to buy food that's local to you. So if you don't have to drive, you don't have to spend gas money, you don't have to get into a car accident just to pick up groceries or food, that's much better. Now, I know you're probably not getting into an accident, but if you didn't need a car, like, could you eat? Could you survive? Are you able to grow your own food, your own vegetables if you're in somewhere remote? In the middle of nowhere, do you have the means to just like grocery shop or grow your own food or something? You don't have to go that far, but just buy your favorite ingredients, make something cool with it. Even if it's just like peanut butter jelly sandwich, at least you know where it's coming from and that you can make it anytime. You'll have more power, more control, and a lot more money saved up. How to save money in 5 ways. Tip number 4. This is watch your money. So if you don't know where your money's going, like, what are you going to do about it? Like, how are you going to save money? The point of watching your money is just so that you don't have any unplanned or random shopping that you don't know about. Do you have some subscription you forgot about? Are you still signed up for that gym membership? Are you paying for some software that you got roped into buying and then you totally forgot you had it? So this is the whole point of watching your money, is just, if you're going to spend money, at least know that you're spending it. You don't want to be paying for things you don't want or you're not using, and be sneaky about it, because there are some annual subscriptions you'll only see once a year. So definitely do an audit tracing back a year. You might be paying for some let's say insurance for something. It might be 1 year subscription to some, Duolingo or something um, that you're not using anymore. So really cut down on these subscriptions. You're not using a lot of this stuff, and you could use the money. You could use the money now. So save money by cutting down on the subscriptions you're not using. This isn't about judging, yourself. It's about just knowing what are you spending your money on. Okay? I'm not gonna tell you what you shouldn't spend money on, but that's it's all up to you. All right, how to save money in 5 ways. Way number 5. All right, we made it. And this is about cutting down on healthcare costs. As you saw in the list, are other costs like healthcare, entertainment. These two birds can be knocked down with one stone, and that is, exercise, make it fun, play some sport. You can do so many things. You can even make it social. You could do something with your friends, your family, whoever you're with. You can play basketball, play football, do yoga, do Pilates. There's so many things you can do at home, outside, in nature, and these things are free. They can be free. If they're not free, you can make them free, or you can buy some one-time, you buy one basketball. All right, that's a one-time cost. But guess what? Then you have less inclination to go and play video games. You have less inclination to go, buy random things online. Shopping is not the best hobby, especially for your wallet. So definitely think about using sports or something, or exercise. This will also help you with any other illness. So one cost is healthcare. And by exercising outside, by eating well, exercising, sports, these kinds of things, you are preventing down the line chronic injuries or illnesses that may arise. For example, I have an Achilles tendon injury that if I'm not stretching on a regular basis, it's going to be problematic. And I also have a back injury. So as long as I'm taking care of myself, I'm going to save myself thousands in medical costs in the future. So I want you to think about what can you do to save yourself the headache, to save yourself, the healthcare costs, the entertainment costs, by just having a more fun, active, exercising life. This isn't possible for all of us. So if you do have access to exercise, if you are able to, be grateful for what you have and exercise as much as you are able, or you can, or you think is healthy. I got one more bonus tip for you, and that is be a nice person. Now, if you notice, some of these other tips like cooking, living with someone else, like your parents or your friends, even like maybe carpooling with transportation, you can save so much money just by being nice to people, or other people who are nice to you. Just create more of a sense of community, help each other out. You can save so much money just by building a community, and help each other when you can. And yeah, that goes a really long way. And thank each other for, if someone drops you off somewhere at work or something, make sure to let that person know that you appreciate them for doing that. Or if your parents let you stay with them rent free or something, or they charge you a much smaller rent, then you should thank them for that, because this is one way to really save a lot of money. And this is hours and hours you would be working otherwise. So one caveat is that there are abusive relationships and there are some toxic relationships. So definitely avoid those. And if that's the case, maybe don't invest more in that relationship. It's not worth it. Find other ways, find healthy alternatives and relationships that can nurture you. And don't expect too much from anyone. But yeah, just be nice. Do what you can. In conclusion, I want you to pay less for shelter, for transportation, for food, watch your money, and prevent healthcare costs from arising, and and be nice to each other. So these tips can save you over $10,000 a year. If you liked it, if you think you might use one of these, please comment down below. Remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, thank you.